everybody. News alert taking you out live now to Florida, Trenton, Florida, to be exact, where 2 deputies were killed in an apparent ambush at a restaurant. Again, 2 sheriff's deputies were shot and killed today in a restaurant in Trenton, Florida, in what appeared to be an ambush. The Gilchrist County deputies died after a suspect walked up to the Ace China restaurant around 3 p.m. and shot both deputies through the window. That is according to an Alachua, is that how you say it, County Sheriff's Office? They said that in a statement made on behalf of the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office. We are waiting a news conference here any moment now. You do see the photojournalist out there moving the picture around quite a bit. I do not have any direct contact with that photojournalist, but you see there the makeshift podium, and things should be getting underway here. But this is a news alert breaking, happening live now, so we wanted to bring it to you. Picture coming in and out, but we'll stick with it. And then we will return to the celebration of life for Barbara Bush, former First Lady. Keeping an eye on the skies here in Phoenix. Still a little bit of blowing dust out here, but it does appear that things are clearing up. Might double box that for you as well. Again, if it's breaking, live, happening, you betcha you'll find it here on News Now, a part of fox10phoenix.com.
Did it say we don't know? Like a camera. Oh. Yeah, because yeah.
I'm just thinking like,
I got you.
otherwise maybe he'll go to another sheriff and hug him. Yeah, we got a good view of the front of the restaurant. The only thing is, with my camera, I can't get a shot of the food.
Lots of movement here by the photojournalist, everybody. Just a heads up and friendly reminder. I do not have any direct contact with this photojournalist, but we certainly do appreciate all of our partners across the U.S. helping us bring you all the live feeds.
That might look better than a ground shot. Show how close you are.
While we wait, everybody, I will let you know that President Donald Trump did tweet about what happened in Florida today. He said, quote, "My thoughts, prayers, and condolences are with the families, friends, and colleagues of the 2 at GCSO Florida deputies, in parentheses, heroes, who lost their lives in the line of duty today," end quote, or end tweet, however you want to look at it.
Restaurants when I was in New York covering corruption trials in Manhattan, where you're fighting with like 35 cameras and stuff. Having that high shot actually. Yeah, those days, Anna and Drag walked down Manhattan. Terrible. You know that, right? Yeah. Yeah. You're gone now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's still doing some.
Oh no, I don't think real on there. Yeah, they're.
Sure. Yes. We could have our supporting sheriffs and agency heads. If we could have our supporting sheriffs and agency heads, please come forward.
Ma'am. Sheriff Whitehead. Thank you. Thank you.
If we could have some additional sheriffs come and join us on the left-hand side, please. Okay, perfect.
Some of our taller sheriffs might can step behind.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes,
Just to let you know, she got
yeah. And for our media partners, do we have any issue? Is everybody, let me slide out of the way. You'll have Sheriff Schultz here. He's about 2 inches taller than me. Also. And again, in just a few moments, it'll be Sheriff Bobby Schultz, SCHULTZ, from the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office. You'll have supporting sheriffs and dignitaries behind him. And again, he's coming from notification. I ask that any questions following his remarks be brief and focused on the deputies that were involved. Following his remarks, we'll have any of our sheriffs available for any questions that you may have. And then through the group of public information officers that are here, we'll provide any specific information that can be released at this time, as well as any demographic information about Gilchrist County, the Sheriff's Office, or any other factual type questions that you might need. Again, any questions that you may have, I ask that they be directed regarding the deputies that are involved and the incidents as they happen today. We'll provide clarifying comments for anything else afterwards.
Today at approximately 3 p.m., the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call about deputies being down in a local restaurant. Deputies arrived on the scene along with Trenton Public Safety Officer, and they did find 2 of our deputies deceased. Sergeant Noel Ramirez, a 7-year veteran of law enforcement, and 25-year-old Taylor Lindsay were the 2 deceased deputy sheriffs. I made contact with the families, and as you'd expect, you can never be prepared for something like this. But make no mistake, they're proud of their families. They understood when their loved ones pinned on the badge and they strapped on the gun that this is a possibility. And from anybody that can hear me, the sound of my voice, and they can see my face on their TV, that Sergeant Ramirez and Deputy Lindsay were the best of the best. They were men of integrity. They were men of loyalty. They were God-fearing, and they loved what they did, and we're very proud of them. I'm not near as articulate as I should be on a bunch of things, but I'm honored that I get to work with men and women just like those 2 individuals. They gave their lives so that we can all be safe. You know, after 26 years of doing this, nothing can prepare you for senseless deaths. But I want to focus on them. Not only were they the quintessential deputy sheriffs that you'd want, but they're quintessential children, husbands, boyfriends, brothers, law enforcement brethren that anybody could ever want. I knew both of them personally, and I can sit here in front of all of you and tell you that I loved them. And they were loved. And I met with the families today. I told them that they could be proud of those men. They could be proud. And I'm proud to have been their sheriff. I'm proud for the opportunity I had to work alongside with them. I don't have answers to why this happened. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will conclude and conduct their investigation at a time that they feel fit to release information. But I want you to know they don't need to be remembered strictly for their untimely death, but they need to be remembered for the type of people that they are. And that's good individuals, good deputy sheriffs. I would like to thank all the agencies involved. If you look behind me, there's men and women of just about every county in North Florida represented. Sheriffs, the police chiefs, public safety officers, state representatives. I've been contacted by everybody you can think of because they recognize that we have heroes among us. They understand what it takes to be a law enforcement officer. There's so much I want to say and so much I shouldn't say. But I will say this. We're not going to make this into at least the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office, and I think I could speak for every citizen of Gilchrist County. We're not going to make this a political issue, other than the fact, what do you expect happens when you demonize law enforcement to the extent that it's been demonized? Every type of hate, every type of put down that you can think of. The only thing these men were guilty of was wanting to protect you and me. They just wanted to go get something to eat, and they just wanted to do their job. But as I started my remarks, when they pinned on the badge and they strapped on the gun, they knew this was one of those things that could happen. It fell upon us. The Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office and the men and women, we will honor these men by doing our jobs. We will honor them by doing what we're supposed to do, because that is what our Heavenly Father wants us to do, because to be a law enforcement officer is a calling, without question, without reservation. And these agencies that are here to help us, I want the citizens of Gilchrist County to know that your services will not be interrupted. There's too many to list about who's helping, but just know that Gilchrist County is as safe today as it was yesterday, as it will be tomorrow, and these men and women behind me are going to make sure of that. Gilchrist County is resilient. We haven't been through anything quite like this before, but what makes our county unique is that we're a family, just like the entire law enforcement community, but this county's a family. We're going to grieve. We're going to get upset. We're probably going to cuss a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're going to remember those two men for what they are, and they're heroes. With that, I will try to answer questions. I think the public information officers told you some of the stuff that I can and can't answer. If I can't, just bear with me. If there's something I need to get with you, we will make sure we get that information to you as timely as I possibly can.
Sheriff Nick here in Jacksonville. Just want to ask you, just kind of walk us through what it was like when you got the call, when you got the notification that this had happened, and just kind of walk me through how you were notified of this.
I was contacted by my communications officer, and it was just surreal. After doing this for 26 years, you know, you're just one call away from something tragic like that. Whether you're a large agency or a small agency, it hits you like a ton of bricks. I got here as fast as I could. I was told that the situation was being contained. The investigation, they didn't know quite what they had. And the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, the Gilchrist County Fire Rescue, Trenton Public Safety Chief, they got here, they did their job. They did it efficiently, they did it effectively, they did it expeditiously. And when I got here, it was just about, they had just got done clearing the scene and everything you can think of. The Bible talks about gnashing of teeth. That's what I've got to witness today, as you do when someone loses a loved one. That's what I witnessed today when I come on scene.
Can you just reiterate again the sergeant and the deputy involved, just their experience, names, just so we've got it for the record?
Sergeant Noel Ramirez was a 7-year veteran. That's give or take. I don't have the personnel file on him. He had previously worked at the Levy County Sheriff's Office and I think the Williston Police Department. And he came to us about 2 years ago. And he was promoted to sergeant a little less than a year ago. Deputy Lindsey Taylor had worked with us previously. He had left, and he had just recently come back. And he was on Sergeant Ramirez's shift. I just spoke with them very recently. They were going to get into the first responder Olympics, doing bench press, because they was into all that. And I needled with them quite a bit. I needled them a lot. But they were looking forward to that, and we was fixing to start a new team at the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office, and no one in my office knew that, but Taylor Lindsey knew that, and he was just he was going to be part of that team because he shined. All of my deputies and personnel shine, but that's what he wanted to do. He loved doing drug interdiction, and he liked serving people. Noel Ramirez, you know. There's lots of stories I could tell. Some I probably shouldn't put on camera, but he is the smile. If you ever seen Sergeant Ramirez smile, infectious. And those two individuals, I told the family that you can go through your entire life and know people, and they really you know them, but you don't know them. Bobby Schultz is a better person standing in front of you today because of them, because I can promise you, without my Heavenly Father being here with me right now and knowing that I owe them, those two deputy sheriffs, the professionalism that I demanded out of them, I'm able to do this. They encouraged me to be the best that I am, and what more can you ask? They're good family members, they're good friends, they was good deputy sheriffs. I don't think that you'll be hard pressed to find anybody say anything bad about them.
Sheriff, what can you say about the shooter?
Nothing.
Are you releasing his name?
Not this time. Florida Department of Law Enforcement, when I get with them, we'll make it make an announcement of who this coward was.
Sheriff, is there any indication at this point you knew either deputy or the sergeant prior to this?
Again, the investigation is ongoing. As soon as that information is made available from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement through their investigation, that information will be released.
And so they were just inside eating at this restaurant?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you say how close they were to where he was?
Again, the investigation is ongoing. That's something that's being determined by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. I'm quite sure that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement crime scene unit is here, and they'll make that determination. For me to tell you how far they were would be speculation.
Can you tell us if the gunman was local?
I don't have any information on myself on what that is, but as soon as that information comes available, we'll make sure that we get that to you.
And then he committed suicide in his car outside the restaurant?
Again, I don't have any information on that, nor am I going to divulge in that, because I want this to be about those deputy sheriffs. I think that you can respect that. The world's full of cowards, and the world's full of heroes. We need to highlight those heroes and what they gave. That's my perspective on it, and I hope that you would understand why I say that.
Sheriff, what do you say to the men and women in your agency moving forward, patrolling the community, protecting and serving?
Well, when this happened, I don't mind saying, we get demonized for a bunch of reasons. Religious, separation of church and state. I said a prayer with my men and women, and I tell them exactly what I told y'all. We're going to honor them by doing our jobs, and that's what I would tell them. We love those men. But we're going to do our jobs. because that's what we do. That's what deputy sheriffs do every day. Unfortunately, this is an inherent risk, but we're going to get together, thanks to my partners, sheriffs and neighboring municipalities. Again, Gilchrist County is going to be safe. There won't be a call that don't go unanswered. I'm going to let my men and women grieve, and then we're going to put that badge back on where it's supposed to be. We're going to strap on that gun again, and we're going to get out there and do our jobs, because that's what Sergeant Ramirez and Deputy Lindsay would want us to do, and that's what their family wants us to do. And by golly, that's what we're going to do.
Do those deputies have any children, or are you able to tell us if they're married?
I'm not prepared to give you all that information, but Deputy Ramirez does have children and is married. Deputy Taylor Lindsay was not married, did have a girlfriend. I did talk to the family, and for obvious reasons, I'm going to ask y'all for a favor, and I understand who I'm talking to. Let them breathe, please. Let them mourn. Give them just I know the mantra for media. Give them some peace, please. They've asked me if you have any questions, if you'll funnel it through Lieutenant Tumman, who's acting as my PIO from the Levy County Sheriff's Office. There will be a time when they will speak to you, and it will be soon. Leave them be for the next day or so, please.
With that, we can take one more question, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir. One more question.
So was there just initial reports? I'd heard that there were maybe 2 gunmen involved. There was just 1 gunman. Can you clarify if that was the case?
There's no indication there was multiple gunmen. We believe it was one assailant at this time, but again, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement will give us all that information, and we'll release that name at a future date. Thank you very much.
For all of y'all that didn't catch me, I'm Lieutenant Tumman. Between Brett and I'm Scott. Just let's make it easy. Between Brett and I, we'll try to answer your questions as best we can. Obviously, there's a lot of information that we will not be able to deliver to you tonight, because this is still an ongoing investigation that's occurring behind you. I would need to coordinate with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and with Sheriff Schultz before I released anything critical about that scene.
Can you just state and spell the first last name of both deputies so we have that?
Noel, N-O-E-L, Ramirez, R-A-M-I-R-E-Z, and Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R, Lindsay, L-I-N-D-S-A-Y.
Do you have their ages?
Noel Ramirez is 30, and Taylor was 25.
Are there pictures available?
We're working on getting y'all some pictures.
And those pictures, we'll post them via the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office Facebook page so that everyone has access to those, and they can 25? 25. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then how many years were each of them, you guys?
Sergeant Ramirez had 7 years total law enforcement experience.
Yes, sir.
And Deputy Lindsay had 3 years total law enforcement experience.
That's within Gilchrist, correct? That's within the county sheriff's.
Which deputy are you referring to?
Deputy Lindsay?
Yeah, Deputy Lindsay was 3 years here with Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Ramirez had a scattering of
It's 7
experience.
total.
7 total, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Multiple agencies.
Do you know how long he's been with
We don't have specifically include that because, especially for Deputy Ramirez, it's multiple agencies.
Until they
try and provide a breakdown. It's over 7 years of law enforcement service. For our folks that are here, especially for folks that are out of town, if you personally or if your desk wasn't on any of the email distribution list, please let me know and I will include you, because what we plan on doing, what Scott and I will do, is push a follow-up with some of these kind of fact-based specific things, whatever we can clear through FDLE in the next little bit so it's timely and relevant to you, we'll get that out. And if we're able to provide the decedent's name, we will, but
Do we have an age, Brett?
I don't.
All right,